What's good, everybody? It's your boy Uncle Sam's Reject here, back with some more NCAA 14 FAU Dynasty, man. Conference Championship week, we're still number 1 in the nation, and I completely forgot, guys. We do not have a conference championship game. We went independent this year, you know what I mean, for the sole reason of giving ourselves the hardest possible, schedule. We were supposed to play all ranked teams except for FIU, you know what I mean, major rivalry game, but a lot of teams lost throughout the year and everything like that. So we're going to find out right here, right now together, what bowl game we're going to, who won the Heisman, who won all the awards, everything like that. I'm excited, you know what I mean? You guys should be excited. And this is going to be a good segue, you know what I'm saying, to get us to that national championship game next episode. All right, man, just to take a quick look before we move the week, this is what the Heisman watch is looking like. It's still 5 quarterbacks. Connor Bloomberg is taking over number 1 spot. Chaz Surratt, number 2. John Wilson, number 3. Avery Johnson, number 4. And Josh Jackson still holding on at number 5. All right, man, taking a look at the BCS rankings. 1 through 6 stayed steady. You know what I'm saying? 1 through 4 are probably the only chances of, of people who will play in the national title game. Mississippi State is slightly behind Auburn. Auburn is tied with Ohio State. Ohio State has a conference championship game this week. Auburn and Mississippi State both are not in the conference championship. You know what I'm saying? Instead, the SEC conference championship is LSU versus Vandy. Somehow the SEC championship is LSU versus Vandy. You know what I mean? So I feel like Auburn and Mississippi State might actually get jumped by LSU if they bring home this conference title. Quick look at the awards finalists. John Wilson is number 4 in the Maxwell. Number 2, Walter Camp. Achilles Leroy, our starting middle linebacker, is leading the way for the Chuck Bednarik Award. Nagurski is Kevin McCray. He probably should win that easily with his 12 sacks this season. O'Brien, John Wilson's all the way down at number 9. We don't have anybody for the Doak Walker. Bolitnikov, Austin Graham, true freshman, is in the top 6. He probably won't get it, but he had a hell of a year. The Mackey Award, were nobody there. Nobody for the Outland. Nobody for the Remington. McCray and Belvin are both battling it out for the Lombardi Trophy. Best linebacker, Achilles Leroy, is second behind UCLA's Lenny Taiola. The Thorpe Award, Chase is in the top 10. The Groza, we don't care. The guy, we don't care. Best returner, Zion Gilbert, is in the top 5. And then that's that. All right, man, once we move this week, we're going to figure out what bowls we're in, who wins what awards. So let's get to it and let's see it together. This has been a great season, though, so far, man. I also hear you guys want to see more recruiting. So next season, I think I'm going to do 2 videos a day for the Dynasty. I'm gonna try. No promises. I'm still trying to work it out. I do a recruitment video earlier before the game drops. It didn't drop the game after that. Still just depends on how my schedule is with school and everything like that. Sometimes things can get a little bit crazy. You know what I mean? But I'm glad you guys are enjoying the game, you know what I mean, the content and everything like that. The sliders, also what I said in the last video, are going to be going up at the end of this season and at the end of the Army season. You know what I'm saying? Games are starting to feel like they've gotten a little bit too easy, unless, we play Miami, because we can't beat Miami in this Dynasty. But all in all, man, I'm just going to look to improve. You know what I mean? If we win this national title, maybe 1 or 2 more after that. We'll probably move on to our next team and to our brand new Dynasty. Sad, don't really ever want to see this Dynasty go. But another thing, I will play more games next season. I will play all the games. You see here's the Heisman Trophy winner. You know what I mean? Chaz Surratt actually jumped over Connor Bloomberg. And John Wilson finishes number 3. He received almost 200 first place votes. So we didn't win that. Achilles Leroy does win the Chuck Bednarik. We don't have any room, so we can't add it. The Bronco Nagurski goes to our boy Kevin McCray. Kevin McCray also wins the Lombardi Trophy. Let's go. And that is it. And you see it. We are in the national title game. 1 versus 2. I guess Ohio State either lost or Auburn jumped over them last minute. FAU versus Auburn. You know what I'm saying? Independent versus SEC. We get to be the SEC team. All right, man. So somehow the computers put Ohio State over Auburn. I'm thinking that it is, since we beat Ohio State, they figure there's no way they can be number 2 right after it somehow. You know what I mean? Even though Ohio State did have a bowl game, you know what I mean? They have a conference championship game, but it probably has something to do with them winning in overtime against Northwestern. All right, man. So first, here we are taking a look at the All-Americans. So far, we don't have anybody first team All-America. Okay, there we go. David Belvin, the 3rd, and Kevin McCray both made the first team All-American along with Achilles Leroy. So that goes to show how strong our defense has been this season. You know what I mean? Our two first team All-Americans were defensive. And then our true freshman, Austin Graham, is a second team All-American. You know what I'm saying? Along with Key Wetzel and Darius Chase. And then our freshman All-American, Austin Graham, of course. And that's that. And then we're not in the most prestigious of conferences. But you know what I mean? We go over to the Independence All-Americans, Austin Graham. You know what I mean? Pretty much our whole defense. Let's see. Left end, you know what I mean? All the way to safety. So everything except for one of our outside linebackers and one of our safeties. Excuse me. You know what I mean? We're All-Americans along with our punter, Patrick Trepkos, second team All-Americans. John Wilson was a second team conference All-American, and he finished third in the Heisman voting. You know what I mean? It is what it is. All right, man, so taking a look at the major bowl games here, you know what I mean? We will be facing Auburn in the national championship game. You know what I'm saying? Then you go down here to the Cotton Bowl is a big game. Then you go down here to the Orange Bowl. It's a 9-4 Wake Forest versus 8-4 Rutgers. Okay. The Sugar Bowl will be number 5 LSU versus number 6 North Carolina. Fiesta Bowl, Oklahoma versus Michigan. And the Rose Bowl will be Ohio State versus Stanford. Take a look at the stats for the final stats for the season. John Wilson didn't have that crazy of a season. He threw under 3,000 yards, 24 TDs, 15 picks, 235 a game, only 51 completion percentage. You know what I'm saying? 16.6 a completion. Longest of the year was 80. Sacked 20 times. Rushing, John Wilson did lead the team in rushing. 139 yards on the ground, 713. Rushing, John Wilson did lead the team. 139 attempts, 713 yards, 5 yards a carry, 13 touchdowns. John Smith, 107 carries, 565 yards, 5 yards a carry, 6 touchdowns. In the spell back, David Johnson, 18 carries, 73 yards, and 1 lone touchdown on the year. Receiving-wise, John Rain led the team in catches, 46, 686, 6 touchdowns. Austin Graham was the complete leading receiver, 43 catches, 1,038 yards, 24 yards a catch, 13 touchdowns. John Smith had 34 catches. James Swanson, 33 catches, 469, 5 touchdowns. Jordan Merrill, 20 receptions, 372 yards, a touchdown. And Josh Bell, out of his 3 catches, he made the most of his opportunities, you know what I mean, because 33% of his catches were a touchdown. Defensively, Key Wetzel led the team in tackles with 71, closely followed by Achilles Leroy. 59 solo for Key Wetzel, 12 assisted, 9 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 1 pick. Pretty big game for the senior. We actually talked him into coming back this year, if I recall correctly. Achilles Leroy, you know what I mean? This is our 4th year, his 4th year being a starter. You know what I mean? He's been a starter with us since we've been at this program. 70 tackles, 61 solo, 9 assisted, 14 for loss, 2.5 sacks, 1 pick as well. And then you got David Belvin, 45 tackles, 33 solo, 14 for loss, 11 sacks. Kevin McCray also led the team in sacks with 12. We already went over David Belvin's 11. Hooper had 5.5. Quran Hafiz had 3. We moved him to left outside linebacker permanently this year. And, you know what I mean? Pretty decent tackle numbers if you see here. You know what I mean? Last year we played him at linebacker, but he was still a safety. He won, you know what I mean, the Thorpe and the Bednarik Award. Tackles were down a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But he still was all over the field. Didn't get any picks or anything like that, but he did what we needed him to do. Darius Chase led the squad in picks with 6. Chris Tooley had 5. Zion Gilbert 2. Ross, Leroy, and Wetzel all had 1. How many defensive touchdowns did we have? Well, first, Kevin McCray forced 2 fumbles with Zion Gilbert and Leighton McCray. We had 7 fumble recoveries, you know what I mean, by 7 different people. We were able to get just 2 defensive touchdowns, Darius Chase and Amon Ross, you know what I mean. All right, man, that's the tell of the tape, you know what I'm saying. Next episode will be the national championship game. Kirk is rolling with Auburn, you know what I'm saying. They are way better than us on paper. A+, A-, A+. We're B+, B+, A-. We score more points a game than them. They have a better offense, you know what I mean, rushing total. We have the better pass offense. Their total defense, they're number 1 in total defense. We're number 9. They're number 2 in rush defense. We're number 1. They're number 2 in pass defense. We're 80th. And we got them beating turnover differential. This should be a good game, man. I'm really, really looking forward to it. It feels like it's been such a long road with this squad, but we finally rebuilt them enough, you know what I'm saying, to get them to this point for the national title. I'm glad you guys can experience it with us. but we just trying to get the job done, man. So that's going to do it for this episode. If you enjoyed, stop and smash that like button. Hit me up in the comment section below. Subscribe if you're new. It's your boy Uncle Sam's Reject, rkgames.com. I'm out of here. Peace.